The Xenomorph is back, but this time it's not just in space, it's here, on Earth. The first full trailer for Alien Earth has just landed, and it might be the most disturbing, lore-heavy entry the franchise has offered in decades. I'm Nick, and this is DarkSpotting, your home for horror, deep lore, and dark media that gets under your skin. Let's dissect this beast. If you're a fan of the Alien franchise like I am, I bet you're secretly harboring the hope that Alien Earth, the first ever live-action TV show set in the Alien fictional universe, will be a complex and engrossing narrative and a huge success. You probably don't want to say it out loud because that would get your hopes high and make you vulnerable to disappointment. If you liked Romulus, you probably also think that after such a critically and commercially successful movie, the odds for a great TV show are slim. After all, the franchise has been pretty uneven up until now, right? Well, I cannot tell you with certainty that this show will be the next TV sensation, but after seeing the first full trailer, I can argue that most of the signs point in that direction. Also, by dissecting it, I can try to put forward some theories about what the show will be about in terms of plot, theme, and connections to the movies, video games, and comics the franchise is comprised of, and that's a lot more fun to do than trying to forecast financial and viewership numbers. So here's my full breakdown of the newly released Alien Earth full trailer. Set in a near-future Earth, where corporate control has quietly merged with biological experimentation, Alien Earth reimagines the battle between humanity and the Xenomorphs, bringing it back to our planet for the first time in the main canon. We follow a new group of characters, including a biotech researcher, a rogue synthetic, and a group of survivors trapped in a Weyland-Yutani quarantine zone. The tone is bleak, the stakes are global, and nothing feels safe anymore. Let's break down exactly what we saw in the trailer, scene by scene, and piece together what this nightmare is building toward. The trailer opens with an intimate scene of a young, possibly ill girl having her conscience transferred to a synthetic body, with a scientist overseeing the procedure telling her that she is very, very special. After that, the trailer transitions to action with a voiceover saying we have a downed spacecraft and establishing that this ship collected 5 different life forms from the darkest corners of the universe: monsters, invasive species, predatory. But in 2120, the series takes place in a world where Earth is controlled by 5 major corporations: Prodigy, Weyland-Yutani, Lynch, Dynamic, and Threshold. The story centers around the breakthrough technology developed by Prodigy Corporation, hybrids that are humanoid robots infused with human consciousness. The first hybrid prototype is named Wendy, played by Sidney Chandler. The plot kicks into high gear when a Weyland-Yutani spaceship crashes into Prodigy City, bringing Wendy and other hybrids face to face with the terrifying alien life forms. The trailer also shows locations including Earth in 2120, in particular Prodigy City and Neverland Research Island, to the mysterious crashed Nostromo-looking ship. When this trailer dropped yesterday, I wasn't prepared for what I was about to witness. As someone who has followed the Alien franchise through its various cinematic iterations, I expected a decent television adaptation, but what I saw exceeded every expectation I had for a streaming series. The visual spectacle on display in this trailer is nothing short of breathtaking, from the opening shots of the crashed Weyland-Yutani spacecraft to the meticulously crafted corporate dystopia of 2120's Earth. Every frame feels like it was lifted from a major studio blockbuster. The attention to detail in the production design is remarkable. The sleek corporate architecture of Prodigy City, the atmospheric lighting that creates genuine tension, and the seamless integration of practical and digital effects all combine to make a visual feast that feels cinematic in scope. What strikes me most is how the show manages to maintain the distinctive aesthetic DNA of the Alien franchise while establishing its own unique visual identity. The familiar biomechanical horror of H.R. Giger's original designs is present, but it's been evolved and updated for this new setting in ways that feel both respectful and innovative. The Xenomorphs look terrifyingly authentic, and the various alien life forms promised in the trailer appear to have the same level of detailed craftsmanship we'd expect from a major motion picture. Genuinely surprising to see television achieve this level of visual sophistication. While streaming budgets have grown considerably in recent years, television productions still typically operate with significantly less funding than major Hollywood features, yet Alien Earth appears to have stretched every dollar to maximum effect. The trailer suggests a production that has prioritized visual storytelling and world building in ways that make the budget constraints invisible to viewers. Noah Hawley and his team, along with executive producer Ridley Scott, have clearly understood that the Alien franchise demands a certain level of visual excellence to maintain credibility with fans. The fact that they've apparently delivered that excellence within the constraints of television production is a testament to both creative vision and technical expertise. The trailer promises a series that won't ask viewers to lower their expectations simply because it's a TV adaptation. Instead, it appears ready to deliver the kind of immersive, visually stunning experience that fans deserve, proving that great science fiction horror can thrive on the small screen when given the right creative treatment and technical execution. If this trailer is any indication, Alien Earth might just set a new standard for how franchise adaptations can successfully transition from cinema to television without sacrificing the visual impact that made the originals so memorable. There is a lot to unpack within this footage. I will begin with the most glaring aspect. Where does Alien Earth stand within the continuity? When I started working on this video, the trailer had not yet been released, and I was ready to give you guys a detailed overview of the Alien multimedia franchise to establish what is canon and what isn't. The extended universe includes novelizations of the movies, novelizations of video games, standalone novels, novel trilogies, novelizations of comic books, short story collections, comic book adaptations of the movies, comic book adaptations of the video games, about 30 comic book limited series, 17 comic book one-shots, a bunch of crossovers with comic book characters from different publishers, short comic book stories related to the franchise published within several anthologies, 25 video games, a 7-episode YouTube animated series of the Alien Isolation game, and last but not least, 5 card games, 15 board games, 9 role-playing games, and 1 miniature game. This is a sprawling multimedia fictional world, and I didn't even include the stuff related to the Alien vs Predator crossover. But you know what? After seeing the trailer, I realized there is no need for such work. It is clear to me now that it was always going to be a huge issue for the show's production team to work around continuity. Quite simply put, having to devise a multi-season narrative while knowing that decades afterwards Weyland-Yutani will need to steer a spacecraft off course to retrieve xenospecimens as shown in the first Alien movie means that we would have already known the end of the show. The Xenomorph is defeated by the good guys and the corporation wants it back. There are several issues with this line of events though. How would the general public, decades after the events in the series, which need to be big, destructive, and entertaining, not know anything about the Xenos' existence? And wouldn't the showrunner and writers feel constricted by this? Besides, Alien Earth is set in 2120, after the events of Prometheus and Covenant, which are respectively set in 2093 and 2104. I'm sure Ridley Scott wanted some kind of direct connection with his prequels, and albeit I haven't noticed one in the trailer, I expect them to be mere passing references to the Black Goo or David's research. For all these reasons, I feel quite confident in asserting that Alien Earth will follow a different continuity, that it will avoid all relations to the 5 films, including Romulus, all novels and video games and comics, and have very tenuous at best ties with the true prequels. That is the only way for Alien Earth to be a truly original, fresh, and poignant take on the Alien franchise. By watching this trailer, I realized that the franchise has always been a cocktail of three elements: humans with all their contradictions and emotions, corporations as the real villains, and AI as their weapon to exert coercion on unprivileged humans. Aliens as an alternative form of life without the flaws of humanity. Only from the second movie, Aliens, did AI become a fourth element, exploring the profound implications of an artificial life form that could share mankind's capacity for compassion, but improve upon their shortcomings. What transpires from this footage is that in order to create a rich, compelling, and thought-provoking story spanning multiple seasons, the showrunner needed to complexify each of these four elements and remix them in several new ways. First of all, we have 5 different corporations pulling the threads in this future Earth. Expect each of them to incorporate different attitudes and philosophies towards humanity's future artificial life and alien life, while spanning all shades of grey morality, and a lot of the conflict and drama in the series to come from the clashing of said attitudes. The second important point is to consider that I am quite confident that the choice of including 5 different life forms, including the Xenomorph, is not a mere gimmick, but part of a bigger strategy that could alter the franchise forever. I hereby declare that I expect the Xenomorph to be prominent, but not the only monster in this show, and that Noah Hawley is consciously trying to redefine the alien brand by introducing other horrifying alien species with completely different characteristics, and that they will be integral to the main plot and the many subplots along the seasons he's declared to have envisioned in various interviews. Last but not least, the references to the Peter Pan story are not casual, but they will be instrumental in the themes of the show. The protagonist is an android called Wendy with the mind of a child, and she leads a team of synthetics on a mission to capture various aliens running amok on an island turned research facility called Neverland. If the info provided is reliable, most of the synthetic people in this team are the result of different mixes of human and android. Are they the lost children who are meant to grow up? Do the 5 alien species collectively symbolize Peter Pan, which is an obstacle to Wendy's growth? And is the character portrayed by the awesome Timothy Olyphant the Captain Hook of the story? I strongly suspect he is the real boss of Weyland-Yutani, and that he will be the overarching villain in the series. Overall, Alien Earth is shaping up to be one of the best sci-fi shows of all time, and as much as I loved Alien Romulus, and can't wait to see the sequel, I think the show is the first true vehicle for a significant organic and thematic expansion of the Alien franchise. That's it for now, folks. If you enjoyed the breakdown, give this video a like and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss the next deep dive into the darkest corners of sci-fi and horror. Let me know your thoughts and theories in the comments. Do you think Alien Earth will change the franchise forever? Or are we heading into familiar space? This is Nick from DarkSpotting. Stay curious, stay critical, and remember, in space, no one can hear you theorize.